And now, ladies and gentlemen, hey now, hey now. Welcome to hour number 3 of the Line Talk 99.5. Andrew McLean with you. And John Bird out. Going to be out for a few days. As most of y'all know that listened in yesterday, his dad, at the age of 91, passed away early Sunday morning, and so he is headed out to North Carolina to put together and be a part of a celebration of life for his dad. And we'll keep you guys updated on all of that. We expect him to have him back sometime next week, and just keep praying for him and his family as they go through this tough time. And I know y'all will, and I appreciate you for it. Noto Roofing, starting you off this hour, NOTO roofing.com, NOTOroofing.com. My roofing guys, as you know, big supporters of this show, and in a way that I can't thank them enough for. They're one of the guys that they've always got our back, and they've got your back as well, being part of the Hey Now Nation. If you got roofing issues, these guys, I mean, you don't even have to take my word on it. You can ask around for anybody that's ever used Noto. You're going to hear the same story. They're going to be like, man, these guys are great. People call this show. They say, hey, here's my experience with them. Would do it again 100 times over. They're just good people, man. And they take care of you, and they don't BS you. They don't quit on the job. They don't try to upsell you. They just, on that initial visit, which is just a free roof inspection and complimentary roof tune-up, they just tell you like it is. They say, hey, either you got a problem or you got 4 or 5 years left on your roof, and then they're on their merry way. So let them take care of you, man. That's an important part of being a homeowner. Got to make sure that roof's taken care of. 205-848-2299. It's 848-2299. Noto Roofing. .com. Start you off with Angry Carrie on the line, who never calls us anymore. Angry Carrie, what's up?
Bad boy Andrew McLean.
What's up, Coles?
Trump, #1 hinge man.
That's right.
First of all, John, our prayers go out to you, man. Be strong. Be strong. I'm, like we all feel your pain. Be strong, John.
For sure.
Now back to you, Andrew. I heard you saying something about Trump saying something about Obama. Let me tell you something about Obama. Obama got the #1 terrorist. We got Obama. I mean, not Obama, but Bin Laden. My bad.
You just called Bin Laden Obama? Oh, my God.
Yeah. I got confused in my right. Yeah. See, look.
Osama, Obama. It's easy to get mixed up, right?
That's right. You know what I'm saying. But hey, hey, listen, hey, we got him. And then another thing, Julianne, call the show. If you really want to get under Andrew's skin, call the show. Listen, we need more white Democrats out there. Hey, you at college, hey, white girl, sitting at home, you can be a Democrat. You can change things.
Oh, attention, white people. No, I wouldn't go with the girls. I mean, there's nothing more obnoxious on this planet, and you cannot argue this. There's nothing more obnoxious on this planet than a liberal white woman that you see with color. You mean I'm talking about the ones with the colored hair in the streets screaming bloody murder, painting the crotch of their white pants red, like these are obnoxious individuals, and you know it.
But listen, look. I'm gonna start calling the show a whole lot more now. I felt like I needed to call the black stations for a while and everything. And
yeah, how's things going at the black stations?
Oh God, we are so far apart. I'm talking about, like, they say like Birmingham is great. No, Birmingham is not great. know, I'm talking about, you know, Birmingham still got crime, open dope houses. Listen, we still got
Are they
water.
talking at all about the gubernatorial candidate Jamel Brown?
Oh God, you don't want to even go there. Listen, man.
I do want to go
I'm
there.
a black guy. Okay, I listen. Look. All right, we will have a better chance with Doug Jones.
I mean,
If
what do
you
you
got
think about it? Outside, I mean, I think it's obvious that, like, you know, Republicans would love to have Jamel Brown on the Democrat ticket, but like, what's your
another guy called William Boyd, a black guy called I think his last name Boyd. They talking about put him as the front runner, and I'm talking like you should send this guy to Walker County to campaign to get these people to turn. Are you crazy?
but yeah, I get that. I get that part. But I want to concentrate on Jamel Brown. Are you following him on Facebook, by the way?
No.
Oh, you've got to, bro. I'm actually going to text you his page so you can follow because you have no idea about this individual until you watch his social media.
Listen, the thing about people in Birmingham is this. People that live in Birmingham think the whole state thinks like them. And, you know, and they don't. I'm talking about, like, people that live in Locasport don't think like people in Birmingham.
Nope.
People that live in Marshall County don't think like people in Birmingham. And you know, and so, like, I think that's the biggest problem with people in Birmingham. They think that the whole state think like them. And, you know, and, hey, I'm here to tell you that is not true.
Well, and I guess Montgomery, maybe Birmingham and Montgomery, parts of Montgomery, I guess, think the same because that's where Jamel Brown's from. He's from Montgomery, and he seems to think that he's got enough steam to get on the Democrat ticket.
Listen, this is a red state, and I know you got a lot of people out there that's disappointed in Trump, but they is not going to flip like that. I'm talking about we will have a better chance with Doug Jones than, you know, you know what I'm saying, you know, winning that seat. If not, you putting Tuberville right in the governor's mansion. I'm talking about like, hey, here you go. Come on, Tommy. There you go. Here the key. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking like you forgetting this is a red state. This a Trump state.
Is this why you say? Is this why you say that Birmingham needs a white mayor?
You know what? Birmingham need a white mayor for you know what I'm saying. I'm talking like look at the parks in Birmingham. I'm talking about the city of Birmingham don't think nothing about the children. You know, and I'm talking like the parks are so old, you know, and I'm talking like, look, okay, listen, you know, like, okay, I'm with Kirkpatrick, and we just got through doing a couple of parks to Trustville and Irondale. Beautiful parks, artificial turf, walking area, everything. You know, I believe Milam did it. This construction company called Milam, they did it. I'm talking like. Then you go to Birmingham Parks, man, they just like, I don't think they've been upgraded since 1978.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's a long time. I'm talking like, you know, like sitting on bleachers that got big splinters on them. And I'm talking about like, you know, and lights hanging down. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, like the field lights is hanging down. Or, you know, I'm talking, it looks bad. And, you know, and then you got people sitting there saying, oh, man, Birmingham is great. No, it is not. Birmingham is in a lot of trouble. All the swimming pools don't open up. You know, I'm talking about like it's like this right here. If your swimming pool ain't open up in your area, you can't go to Homewood and swim because they're gonna ask you, where do you live? Well, I live in Roebuck. I'm sorry. You gotta live in Homewood to swim here. You go to Trustville. Hey, you gotta live in Trustville to swim here. But it seems like the city of Birmingham, there's only one swimming pool to stay open. That's the one over there in Crestwood. Now that pool stay open all the time. But you know, Birmingham got like 99 neighborhoods, is like in so many parks, and none of the pools are open. None of them. You know, Birmingham is in some deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it needs some real leadership. You know, and you know, and listen, hey, and I'm black, and I've been black 58 years. All right, but you know, but having black mayors ever since 1979, that's over 40 years. It's time for a change. You know, it's time for a change.
I do
big
you,
change.
but you don't want just any white person. You want
No,
to.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about, I want somebody that's fair, and and somebody's gonna get the job done.
What if it's a white
Quit dragging
Republican?
the feet.
What if it's a moderate white moderate Republican?
Okay, there you go, there you go, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like get, hey, like attract more police officers. You know, um, um, like close some of these dope houses, man. Cause I'm talking like, man, we got so many dope addicts on the street, and things and stuff. And then it just hurts me when they say, "Hey, Birmingham is great." No, Birmingham is not great. Birmingham
Man,
is shit.
if Orlando, dump that real quick. Hit the dump button for me, if you
What?
could, because I think you just
What
did. You just say a cuss word? Did you just say the ish
No,
word?
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
I
I
thought you
said
did.
sick.
Oh,
I
okay.
said it's sick.
My bad.
No, you thought I said no, 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 sick.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad.
S-I-C-K. S-I-C-K.
So,
No.
anyway, so yeah, if you had, I think honestly, as you describe what you want to be done in Birmingham, if you could broaden that out and view that as the whole country, I think you would actually support Trump because all the things you want done in Birmingham is what Donald Trump has done across the city, across the country in major cities. More police, cut down on
Oh.
crime. Cutting down on murders. So I'm not expecting you to connect those two, but I think you're making progress. Is what I'm saying.
Listen, look. Hey, listen. I respect Republican senators the way they run their thing. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? And yes, you got a lot of Democratic senators, saying that, it's soft on crime. And that's what I'm saying. We need more white people in the Democratic Party. Do you hear me? Julianne, call the show. Hey.
I don't think
hey.
I don't know that Julianne. I don't know that she's a Democrat. I think she's just somebody that hates Trump and Jews.
She sounds like a good liberal.
Well, I will agree with that.
Call the show. Call the show. Trust me. If you want to get under Andrew's skin, call the show.
When's the last time you heard somebody?
Love to talk to you.
When's the last time you heard a caller get under my skin? You never heard that. I will complain, but hey, I don't let nothing get under my skin.
But hey, Drew, listen. It's like this right here. Look, when I get a chance, man, listen, hey, I'm gonna call the show more often. Angry Carrie is back. The Democrat, ride the donkey. Ride the donkey.
All right.
Ride the donkey, #1.
All right, Angry Carrie. We'll see you, buddy.
All right, man. All right.
He's something else, man. Well, that's good. Yeah, I would appreciate more calls from Angry Carrie. We'll always be here to entertain him. As he's been listening to me since I was on other stations. So, since I was on the previous station. It's where we gave him the name Angry Carrie, as a matter of fact. 205-545-9950. Senate hearing on Capitol Hill with Trump's Fed pick. Dems are clashing with him, obviously. I'll keep my eye on that. If anything pops up, we'll bring it to you. Also, your phone calls. Again, 205-545-9950. More on the line next. Walter says he's got a point talking about Angry Carrie. Donkeys, Democrats, all asses. It's a good point. Angry Carrie's always making good points, which is what I appreciate about that man. That's what I appreciate about him. Craig says what he is wanting done, all the Republican will do. The Birmingham Democrats were just trying to line their pockets like they've always done. Yeah, that's true. P Nasty says kids can't go to Birmingham parks because the homeless live there. I don't go to the Birmingham park, so I don't know. Is that what happens? Are the homeless people living there? Is that what's happening? I thought about doing a bit where we go pay a homeless guy to just go spend a day with John Bird and video it. And just have him, maybe go sit down at a nice restaurant or, I don't know. We can figure out something. It was just nice. We've been throwing a lot of ideas out there lately. Some of them may seem a little crazy, but trust me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing here. 205-545-9950. Let me go back to Iran as the panicans and the Democrats. I don't consider Democrats panicans. I think panicans are conservatives that feel like that Donald Trump has gone off the rails. And maybe, it could be a thing that, we got so used to over the past 4 years of things going so badly that people don't know how to deal with things going well. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they enjoyed things going badly and being able to complain about this, that, and the other. And then things start going good and we start cleaning some stuff up. And then they're like, I don't like this. I want to get back to complaining. And so they're on this. A lot of it's being led by influencers at the end of the day. Because a lot of these people, a lot of the panicans didn't start acting the way they're acting until influential people within the conservative realm, in particular people that consider themselves MAGA, started speaking out. Which means if our theory, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm saying this is a theory, that if, in fact, individuals like, for example, Marjorie Taylor Greene got paid off or got swayed in some way to go against Trump, which is becoming more and more convincing that that's the case based on now her latest thing is that Butler was a hoax. Donald Trump being shot in Butler, Pennsylvania was a hoax. Those people going in the opposite direction of what they had always previously believed are now being followed by individuals who say, yeah, I think like this person thinks. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene's onto something. I think Tucker Carlson's onto something. Candace Owens, whoever it may be. And listen, it irks me for Tucker Carlson to go in the direction he's going because I've always loved Tucker. I've always liked Candace. I liked Marjorie Taylor Greene. But sometimes you gotta cut ties with people. They're not always. I mean, do we forget that throughout and it's a little different because these weren't influencers, but do we forget throughout the first Trump administration the same exact tactic was used? People within Trump's circle would break ties, and then all of a sudden they had the exact opposite view on Donald Trump than what they had previously had. That just like a light switch went off, and they all of a sudden hated Donald Trump and everything that he stood for, and they were spouting Democrat talking points. Just like that. Just out of nowhere. And it was because why? Well, because somebody got to him. It actually was different in some cases, when you think of, whoever, Omarosa or, whatever Trump administration official would end up leaving the administration, some of which may have even got fired. All of a sudden, they're anti-Trump and they're writing a book with a $2 million advance on a book deal. It's hard to turn down $2 million. If all you got to do is just say, oh, I know I supported Trump, but I hate Donald Trump. In other cases, it was due to threats of imprisonment by, say, a corrupt DOJ. Case in point, Michael Cohen, who still ended up going to jail. In some cases, it's blackmail. It's the highest law enforcement agency may be knowing that you have some skeletons in your closet and coming to you and saying, hey, we can hang this over your head. And if you don't do what we ask you to do, which is be very public about your disdain for Donald Trump, we could go revisit these charges. That is very real. That actually happened in the Michael Cohen case with Cohen and Donald Trump. It actually even tied back to the Hulk Hogan sex tape, believe it or not. It was crazy. All right, let's take it to the phone lines. 205 545 9950. That's 545-9950. And let's start out with Lee. Lee, what's up, bum?
Hello, how you doing, Andrew?
Good.
Yes, I was listening to your last caller. He said he wanted things so much how bad Birmingham is, but he's kind of contradict himself. You know, when you brought up about Donald Trump, all the things he would do about crime and everything, but he would have no parts of that. And so if I wanted things to change in my community, I don't care what color or who he was, it would make a big if it made a difference in my community. And you know, it's just like things can never. You know, we have black people say, "Oh, I can only vote for someone who look like me," regardless of how bad they are or their policies or whatever. You know, I'm the same as me. Right now, I could never see myself voting for a Democrat because people have to realize that Democrats, they're the party of the KKK. And they are, you know, you look at people like Hillary Clinton, Robert Byrd was her so-called mentor. But the sad thing is in the black community, with all of the crime that goes on, we never see anyone out there protesting. It seems like the only time a black person is dead, it actually died, is when a white police officer killed them. And that's when you're going to get the Al Sharpton or the people out there protesting. If we could get a lot of black people out there protesting when we have, with all of the crime that goes on in the communities, things would change. I haven't heard anyone protest about what this McDaniels kid, the guy who's up for 20 murders. Why don't we hear anything about that? It's just so sad. The guy who's up for 20 murders. Why don't we hear anything about that? It's just so sad. The guy who's up for 20 murders.
Yeah.
Why don't we hear anything about that? It's just so sad.
Yeah, it is, and it's yeah. I think I got an echo going there, Lee. I appreciate your call though, buddy. I think Lee was listening to himself on the radio, but you know it is, and I get what Lee's saying too. I mean, when people die in those parts of town, like Birmingham or wherever across the country, you do have people that come out and speak out against it, but it's sadly it's usually not that big of a crowd. You know, it's family and friends and maybe a few others from the community that come out and they're very passionate about speaking out against the violence in their neighborhoods or their cities. But then when it involves, a police officer, for instance, which the stats on that are incredibly low, especially when you compare it to, civilian on civilian violence. The crowds and the protests are not even comparable. And part of it is that there are larger entities behind promoting these protests against officer-involved shootings that cause these crowds and these protests to be much bigger, especially when you think about on the scale of what happened during the Summer of Love and George Floyd and everything else. But it comes down to the people of those particular communities. If we're talking Birmingham, it comes down to the people of Birmingham, not people that are being bussed in from different cities and different states to protest an officer-involved shooting. It takes the people in the community that live there that have to risk their life every day just going to the store to get out and say, I'm tired of the killing in my community. We want more police. We want this. We want that. Make it stop. We want a safe place for our children. We want a safe place for our elderly. We want a safe place for everyone. And because at the end of the day, nobody should have to live like that. I don't care who you are. Nobody should have to live in a place in the United States of America where you're in fear for your life for just going outside. And it goes back to the point I made is what Donald Trump has done in some of these blue cities in conjunction with Democrat mayors, cleaning up so much of the crime that had been happening in places like Memphis and D.C., literally changing the entire landscape of how people are able to live and get out and do things that normal people, that other people across the country are able to do. And they thank him for it. The Democrats thank the president for that. They're like, thank you. If you live in a place where it's dangerous to go outside, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, all this stuff about politics and and back and forth about Jews or whatever else, none of that matters to you. What matters is whether or not you're going to get shot just for walking down the street and going to the store. That's at the very top of your priority list. And so the people of the communities that have that at the top of their list, get out and speak out. That's how you make change. And you got the advantage of trying to accomplish that on a local level. The more people that do it, the better off your chances are of actually making change happen. So, Birmingham, hey, there's your answer. Mike up next. What's up, Mike?
Hey, man, before I changed that subject, me and my wife was going through Birmingham, and she wanted a Coca-Cola. She calls it Coke. But anyway, I stopped at a store, didn't need no gas, and this guy run up to the car, what you need? I told him, I said, I need a Coca-Cola. He walked off and went to his group and said, oh, he's just stopping at the store. But that's the story I wanted to tell you. But that's not what I called about. I want your opinion on Trump. I voted 16 and 24 and everything, but I think the man needs a vacation. He needs to spend a little bit of time with his wife, his kids, his grandkids, playing golf. But I've always believed if you take too much on at one time, you can't get everything done.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think for the average person, that's 100% true. I think the only difference is Donald Trump's not the average person. I think he's built different. I think he doesn't. I mean, his idea of a good time is working and getting things done. Now, granted, he does go to Mar-a-Lago and have dinner with people and play golf and all this. But from what people tell us that are with him during those dinners and those golf outings, they tell us, hey, this man's constantly working. Like even when when you would think he's relaxing, he's still working. And for him, maybe his mindset is, because I think his whole life has been this way, to where it's constant work. I think at least I hope in his old age that he's viewing this as, if I can just get through these next 3 years and accomplish making America great again and making the world a better place, then I can then relax. Because I would love to see at the end of 2028, when Donald Trump leaves office, for him to go to Mar-a-Lago and just enjoy his life and not have to worry about stuff. Because he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it.
I believe he needs a vacation. He needs to not take on so much at one time. I mean, he's got the whole world, the United States, everything on his shoulders. And I think he just needs a break, man.
Yeah.
But I would vote for him in 28 if he could run. But
yeah, I would too.
Man, I love the guy. I just think that, hey, slow down a little bit, buddy.
I feel you. Mike, I appreciate it, bud.
All right, thanks for letting me in.
Absolutely. It is hard to imagine any of us, like even those of us that, are out there just constantly working or constantly honing in your craft or whatever it may be. it's hard for us to imagine uh, that you work at the level that Donald Trump works. He doesn't. He just doesn't stop. He doesn't hardly sleep. He sleeps 3 and 4 hours a night. He gets up. He's after it. Even the people that work for him are like, "This is absolutely exhausting. It's hard to keep up." Even the press pool at the White House, they're like, "Man, yeah, it's good. We've constantly got news coming in and things to talk about, but this guy's hard to keep up with." And it's just who he is. It's how he's built. So we'll see. We'll see if he takes a vacation or not. I wouldn't hold my breath, though. I don't think Donald Trump's going to be taking any real meaningful vacation anytime soon. By the way, I'm seeing reports that the trip to Pakistan has been put on hold, which would be interesting. And I just saw this, so this is my immediate thought, is that the president is going to send the message of, unless you guys are committing to go to Pakistan, we're not even going to show up. And then tomorrow, when the ceasefire ends, we're going to get back to bombing. Not only that, but we are going to hunt down this IRGC commander and start wiping these people out. Because that's my first thought. Like that's where I'm at. If I'm calling the shots, I'm like, okay, let's identify the problem. What's the problem? Oh, IRGC commander? Okay, let's go hunt him down and blow him up. Boom, problem solved. Get back to negotiating. Who's the next in line? Let him know. He's next on the list. If he wants to get out here and try to act like he can call the shots, we'll take him out next. And just move right along. And then reschedule your spot for Pakistan, your trip to Pakistan. So we'll see. That's a report. We haven't heard anything from the White House on a cancellation of the Pakistan trip, but we will see. If that is true, we will hear something very soon, I do believe. 205-545-9950. More of your calls next. Okay, so according to the reports, the trip to Pakistan has been delayed, and Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance are at the White House meeting with Donald Trump, and I suppose they are plotting their next moves. All the while, Pakistan apparently wants Trump to come with J.D. Vance to Pakistan. On top of J.D. Vance, Pakistan hopes President Trump will visit the country for peace with Iran. Quote, Islamabad has increased its security compared to when Vice President Vance visited the first time because Pakistan is really hoping that President Trump comes to this country, which he said he might. This is Matt Fenn from Fox News. Security is tightening. Earlier today, here in Islamabad, I saw one of the police roadblocks where armed officers were screening every car. There is a designated red zone that's formed a perimeter around the area where the high-stakes talks may take place. Well, really, at the end of the day, if we're negotiating with people that are not going to be able to control the IRGC or the commander of the IRGC, then, it's like, what's the point? Like, I don't want to send my president over to Pakistan if we don't have to. I don't like sending him anywhere, honestly, because then I don't trust anybody. I'd rather protect my president. Donna's on the line. Donna, how are you?
Hey, hey, Andrew.
Hey.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I want to tell you that Donald Trump does not get up and go to work every day. He is driven. He has a passion, and therefore it's not work to him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
And another thing is the gentleman that was on before, he was talking about his neighborhood and everything. People in cities don't realize that the state does not audit the cities. So the mayor and the council can take all of their money and spend it at will and without any accountability. This is part of the problem because people are easily manipulated. They don't see anything happening in their community. They don't see any improvements. Yet, when it's election time, all the glitz and glamour comes out. Oh, we're going to do this, and now we got this project, and blah, blah, blah. But nothing happens in their community, and they can't understand why their community continues to decline.
Right.
Because they keep voting for the same people that has done nothing for them. But they know, politicians know how to manipulate the everyday citizen, and I think that's a shame.
Well, and Randall Woodfin has been really good at that in the sense of,
yes,
bamboozling the people of Birmingham to think that, hey, I'm going to do this, that, and the other for you. What he's done some things like, making the, with the advancements, the building the things around the BJCC, you've got the new Coca-Cola amphitheater and all that kind of stuff. What has that done? Well, that's brought people from outside of Birmingham into Birmingham. That's done nothing for the people that live in Birmingham. Putting on a concert is not helping the people of Birmingham who are trying to use the parks or stay safe. It's doing the opposite.
Exactly. You nailed it. And people, I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that if you can't look out your front door and see progress, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
If you're afraid to open your front door, then your money is not going to benefit you.
That's right.
And I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand this and not to keep voting for, doing the same thing over and over again is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, there is there's so many people that when they go and they look at their local politics, there's so many people still looking looking at it through the lens of, national politics or identity politics as far
Yes.
as what
Yes.
party it is. And instead of saying, all right, yeah, I'm a Democrat, but let me make sure this candidate is going to actually do what he says, they just say, well, that's my only choice, so I'm going to vote for this Democrat. Yeah, where it does seem like in in national politics, it does seem like, for us, like, we can't vote for the Democrats no matter what. But when it comes down to a local level, when you're talking about your mayors, when you're talking about your towns and your cities, it's not going to hurt you to look at the other side and say, hey, maybe, even though I'm a Democrat, maybe it'd be worth giving this guy a shot and listening to his ideas. But there's not enough people that do that. And that's the problem. And that's why people keep getting the same result.
Well, and people don't realize that your city government affects your daily life 100% more than the federal government.
Oh, yeah.
And that's whether it's raising the water rates, the garbage rates, the property taxes, whatever it may be, are getting you so far in debt until your city collapses and you're going, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
And they're absolutely in shock because they just don't realize that they've not seen the fruits of their tax money.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. All great points, Donna. I appreciate the call.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too. It's also, and I think that's why Randall Woodfin continues to be somewhat popular within Birmingham, is because he understands just that. And that's why he always inserts himself or his opinion on national politics. If you ever go to his social media or his Twitter, you'll notice that every so often he's commenting on national issues that have absolutely nothing to do with Birmingham, because he wants people to make sure, people are looking at this as Democrat and Republican and not as who's best for my city.